SARS. SARS. SARS is known as the SARS coronavirus, scientifically known as Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. SARS is considered a retrovirus. When a virus enters a cell, it goes through the cell membrane. After penetrating the cell, the virus will go to the nucleus and use the DNA there as a template for making more viruses through the process of reverse transcription. Once the viruses overload the cell, they will exit the cell membrane. The viruses will now go to other cells, infecting them and exponentially increasing their numbers. As the name suggests, SARS attacks its first point of entry, the respiration system. In addition to symptoms like muscle pains, severe headaches, shortness of breath, fevers and chills, and dry coughs, large amounts of fluid will build up inside the SARS victim's lungs, which will eventually lead to a very severe form of pneumonia that can and has proven to be fatal. As compared to a healthy, dark human lung X-ray, the X-ray of a person infected with SARS will seem whiter. That is the fluid that is built up inside the lungs. Traces of the virus have also been found in the kidney tissue of certain patients, making it not tissue-specific. The origin of the virus is shrouded in mystery. The virus itself is a coronavirus, characterized by the spikes or crowns on the outer surface, hence the name corona, or crown. Most coronaviruses only cause mild respiratory illnesses, but SARS has proven to be an outlier. The first, worst, and only documentation of a large outbreak of SARS started in Hong Kong in 2003. Scientists were able to ID the exact person who started the large outbreak of SARS in Hong Kong. His name is Dr. Liu Jianlun. Dr. Liu had already been unknowingly studying SARS in his home district of Guangzhou, China. There, he contracted the illness. Soon after arriving in Hong Kong, Dr. Liu died of SARS, but not before spreading SARS to at least 16 people on the same hotel floor. Soon after, SARS began spreading, and the death toll started rising. Amoy Gardens is a residential block where the spread of SARS was extremely alarming. Reported cases literally went from 0 to 100 real quick. In just a few days, over 200 cases were reported from this single residential block.
The first day, I got 4 cases. But the next day, then is 20, and then next day is 30, and the next day is 40. At that time, I'm afraid.
Because China was such a large business center, international travel would eventually spread the SARS virus to other parts of the world, like Canada, the Americas, and Europe. Interestingly enough, cases of SARS in the United States were drastically lower than the worldwide cases of SARS reported by the World Health Organization. Because statistics of SARS in the United States were so low, paired with the fact that the virus so closely resembled measles and mumps, has led some to believe that SARS is a biological weapon created by the United States to combat their economic rival, China. This theory, however, lacks sufficient evidence. According to a cumulative report by the World Health Organization, by July 11, 2003, 8,437 cases were reported worldwide, and 813 deaths were reported worldwide. The search for the origin of the virus had very few leads. However, scientists did eventually conclude that the human did not have the required antibodies to attack the virus, which led them to believe that the virus was actually an animal virus. It is for that reason that the virus could freely replicate and go unmutated for so many generations.
We knew genetically that it was something very unusual, and therefore the most likely conclusion was that this was an animal virus that had jumped across to humans.
China is home to vast street markets. It is at these markets where animals, both dead and alive, are handled and distributed. It is believed that SARS was initially spread by contact with these infected animals. The virus can also be spread by respiratory droplets, or suspended droplets of the virus in the air from regular respiration.
SARS, they're in contact with the virus in these animals and birds.
Because the epidemic was so sudden, nothing could have been done to prepare. Anyone who wasn't a wild animal was susceptible, and quarantine was the only quote-unquote treatment left besides pumping oxygen into the lungs of those who struggled to breathe. Even then, that was only to alleviate the pain of the illness that would eventually cause the death of hundreds of people around the world.